before humans challenged the vast interior of Australia, before science understood how life survives amidst wildfires, droughts and extreme heat, there existed a land where every day was a struggle against nature. In wild Australia, among scorching deserts, endless savannas and remote forests, kangaroos, dingoes, crocodiles, Tasmanian devils and other extraordinary species survive thanks to unique adaptations facing one of the harshest environments on the planet. Welcome to Wild Australia, survival in the most hostile land of Australia. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to continue creating quality content. Don't forget to comment your thoughts on the video below and let us know where you are watching from so we can chat together. Let's get started. As dawn breaks over the crimson dunes, the sovereign figure of the Australian desert emerges to begin an extraordinary journey of survival. The red kangaroo, known scientifically as Osphranta rufus, is the undisputed monarch of endurance in the heart of the ancient continent. Its domain extends across the arid plains and infinite grasslands, covering thousands of kilometers of mineral geography. It possesses a coat of a radiant terracotta tone, a biological armor designed to reflect the intensity of solar radiation. Its anatomy is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, standing out for its hind limbs of massive power. It uses a robust tail as a biological rudder, providing absolute stability during its rhythmic trajectories across the desert. The tendons in its legs function as high-precision springs, storing elastic energy to neutralize metabolic expenditure. This biographical advantage allows it to rhythmically cover dozens of kilometers with astonishingly low oxygen consumption. In moments of great vigor, this majestic resident can reach an operating speed of 64 kilometers per hour. An adult male of this lineage can reach a mass of 90 kilograms, projecting a presence of great authority in the sanctuary. Its extraordinary biological resilience allows it to survive periods of extreme water scarcity that rhythmically stalk the limits of life. They live in flexible social units known as mobs, where collective vigilance ensures the rhythmic integrity of the entire group. However, fragility manifests in the youngest members, who reside in the thermal sanctuary of the maternal pouch. These descendants are the biological target of the high-resolution vision of the eagle and the tactical approach of canine species. Upon detection of an external intent, the kangaroo uses its strength to rhythmically move toward horizons of greater mineral safety. As a keystone species, its work ensures the dynamic balance of the flora, ensuring that the heartbeat of Australia continues to resonate. Following the tracks of rhythmic legions, a sovereign howl breaks the silence of the desert, announcing the great strategist of the outback. The dingo, known scientifically as Canis familiaris dingo, is the absolute sovereign of active pursuit in the heart of the Australian continent. Its biological advantage resides in inexhaustible aerobic endurance and a high-resolution olfactory system that detects the pulse of life. This majestic inhabitant demonstrates superior evolutionary flexibility, thriving rhythmically in both arid dunes and open forests. However, its permanence demands navigating through large-scale biological sanctuaries, facing rhythmic cycles of scarcity of vital resources. They live in small, coordinated social units, establishing a biological order based on loyalty and constant tactical synchrony. The clan identifies the vigor of a young radiant inhabitant and begins a calculated approach maneuver from multiple trajectories. With a discipline of iron, the strategists close the rhythmic perimeter, using the mineral relief to hide their final biological intent. The pursuit becomes a dance of persistence over open ground, where dingoes maintain a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. Under a heat of 40 degrees Celsius, the group rhythmically exhausts the target's energy reserve until neutralizing its response capacity. The exchange of energy is completed with sovereign precision, guaranteeing that the vigor of the lineage continues to flow through the desert. As the supreme regulator of the ecosystem, the dingo preserves the health of the mineral sanctuary, maintaining the dynamic balance of Australian biodiversity. Leaving the red and arid land of the centre, the biological trajectory guides us toward the pristine islands off the west coast of Australia. The quokka, known scientifically as Cetonix brachyurus, is the sovereign of resilience in the mineral sanctuary of Rottnest. This majestic resident is famous for its radiant facial expression, a biological architecture that seems to project an eternal smile to the environment. Its biographical advantage resides in the ability to rhythmically process various grasses, leaves, and succulent plants of great nutritional value. It possesses superior biographical flexibility to thrive in arid zones where the vital liquid is a limited mineral treasure. It displays its greatest biological vigor during dusk and the night gloom, rhythmically avoiding the thermal siege of the tropical sun. During days of 35 degrees Celsius, this strategist takes refuge in the plant density of the most protected thickets. With a biographical mass of barely 4 kilograms, it maintains a compact structure designed for tactical navigation through the sanctuary. However, its small physical scale represents a fragility before the imposing vigilance of radiant predators introduced by modernity. It rhythmically navigates the island's biological corridors, demonstrating superior intelligence by extracting moisture from deep roots. the fragmentation of its natural architecture and the loss of the plant canopy rhythmically threaten the biological permanence of its invincible lineage. The quokka is the gentle heartbeat of the Australian coast, a gem of evolution that guards the biological balance with elegance. When the sun rhythmically retreats from the horizon and the currents become silent, a resident of a unique biological architecture emerges from the mineral substrate. The platypus, known scientifically as Ornithorhynchus anatinus, is the absolute sovereign of mystery in the fluvial sanctuaries of Australia. Its appearance is a masterpiece of evolution, rhythmically integrating a sensitive beak that evokes the aesthetics of birds with the vigor of a mammal. It possesses a dense and waterproof coat, a high-precision thermal armor that maintains its internal stability in waters of 15 degrees Celsius. Its limbs are equipped with radiant membranes that function as powerful biological oars to navigate through the water density. The true sovereignty of this inhabitant resides in its high-resolution sensory system, capable of detecting the electrical fields of life. Its beak houses thousands of rhythmic receptors that capture the micropulses generated by the muscular vigor of the inhabitants of the riverbed. When diving rhythmically, the strategist closes its eyes and ears, fully trusting its electric radar to map the invisible in the gloom. It locates with millimetric accuracy small crustaceans and invertebrates that rhythmically process the energy of the mineral sediment. An adult specimen of 1.5 kilograms requires rhythmically ingesting a massive amount of nutrients to sustain its sovereign metabolism. Its biological permanence depends entirely on the stability of the riverbanks and the radiant purity of the sanctuary's freshwater sources. It builds rhythmic underground fortresses in the hard ground, ensuring a thermal refuge for the maturation of its future invincible lineage. Males possess a calcified spur capable of injecting a chemical complex that rhythmically neutralizes any hostile intent from the environment. The platypus is the radiant heartbeat of the water, a wonder of nature that reigns with a sovereign elegance and mystery under the sun. Upon descending toward the sanctuaries of the island of Tasmania, the gloom is claimed by an inhabitant of radiant legend. The Tasmanian devil, known scientifically as Sarcophilus harrisii, is the most imposing carnivorous marsupial and the sovereign of the night. Its compact physiognomy houses a jaw of great power, capable of generating a pressure of 1,200 newtons on its target. It possesses the most vigorous bite force on the planet in relation to its biographical mass, allowing it to rhythmically fracture bone materials. Its strategic advantage resides in a high-resolution olfactory system that detects the essence of biological energy from kilometers away. As an architect of cleaning, it rhythmically processes the entirety of organic remains, guaranteeing the biographical health of the forest sanctuary. Its radiant ears capture the acoustic vibrations of the brush, monitoring the thermal pulse of every biological corner of the environment. It communicates through roars of great sonic magnitude that resonate in the dense vegetation, establishing an absolute sovereign authority. During feeding ceremonies, the rhythmic competition between individuals raises biological tension for control of resources. However, its lineage has faced critical fragility due to radiant pathologies that have diminished its population in the mineral steppe. Although its terrestrial navigation is slow, its unbreakable will neutralizes the distance before any biographical challenge of the environment. The Tasmanian devil is the resilient heartbeat of the island, a masterpiece of evolution that reigns with pure ferocity. Upon penetrating the eucalyptus forests of eastern Australia, a radiant inhabitant emerges that dominates the rhythmic stratum of the canopy. The koala, known scientifically as Phascolarctos cinereus, is the absolute sovereign of stillness in the green sanctuary. This majestic being possesses limbs equipped with curved and powerful claws, precision tools to rhythmically anchor to the wood. Its physiognomy stands out for two opposable thumbs on its hands, allowing it to exert a grip force of great biological authority. It possesses an extraordinary digestive system with a 2-meter cecum designed to neutralize the chemical components of eucalyptus. It rhythmically processes leaves that are toxic and fibrous to other inhabitants, extracting the energetic essence with superior mastery. Due to its diet of low nutritional value, this strategist has perfected the saving of vigor by sleeping 20 hours each day. An adult specimen of this lineage can reach a biological mass of 14 kilograms, maintaining a compact body architecture. However, its navigation over the mineral soil is slow and rhythmic, becoming vulnerable before the vigilance of terrestrial strategists. It possesses a high-resolution sense of smell, capable of rhythmically detecting the biological quality of each bud before the vital exchange. It is a solitary inhabitant that marks its territory through chemical signals produced by glands located on its thoracic structure. The descendants remain in the thermal sanctuary of the pouch for months, rhythmically receiving nutrients for their maturation. Its rhythmic work of plant pruning ensures that the forest canopy remains in a state of superior health and dynamic balance. The fragmentation of its natural architecture and the rhythmic increase in temperature represent sovereign challenges for its physical integrity. The koala is the resilient heartbeat of the heights, a gem of evolution that reigns with elegance in the heart of Australia. When the sun reaches its radiant zenith, the mineral stratum of Australia becomes the domain of a reptilian sovereign. The parenti, known scientifically as Varanus giganteus, is the most imposing and majestic lizard patrolling the outback. This titan of the desert can reach a sovereign length of 2 meters and 50 centimeters, projecting absolute biographical authority. It possesses a biographical mass of 20 kilograms, maintaining an architecture of pure muscle designed for rhythmic navigation through the rocks. Its bipedal tongue is a high-resolution chemical radar that detects the pulse of life from kilometers of mineral distance. Potent claws act as precision tools to fracture the hard ground and rhythmically secure its vital space. As a master of silent stalking, it uses the irregularity of the relief to hide its tactical intent before the small inhabitants. Upon identifying an energy source, it deploys an explosive acceleration that reaches 40 kilometers per hour on the sand. Its rhythmic activity depends totally on thermal balance, processing solar energy to strengthen its internal vigor each day. When the mineral temperature exceeds 45 degrees Celsius, the strategist seeks thermal refuge in deep crevices. It manages a versatile diet that guarantees the biological control of reptile and small mammal populations in the sanctuary. The Perenti is the eternal guardian of the Australian deserts, a masterpiece of resilience that reigns with authority. In the infinite stretches of red sand of the outback, an architect of survival resides, looking like a sculpture of mineral crystal. The thorny devil, known scientifically as Moloch horridus, is the absolute sovereign of biological ingenuity in the burning desert. Its physiognomy stands out for an armor of radiant conical spines that rhythmically cover every millimeter of its body structure. It possesses an amazing biographical advantage, where its skin rhythmically channels the vital liquid through microscopic grooves toward its mouth. This biological engineering allows it to collect moisture from the atmosphere and the mineral soil to ensure its internal stability. Its natural architecture gives it a tactical invisibility over the mineral substrate, allowing it to blend with the ochre and golden tones. It manages a specialized diet that depends almost totally on the legions of ants that rhythmically navigate through the radiant sand. It uses its radiant tongue to collect thousands of small inhabitants each day, maintaining its biological vigor with technical precision. It possesses a structure on its nape that functions as a false head, a biographical maneuver to protect its integrity before any hostile intent. Its terrestrial navigation is slow and rhythmic, imitating the swaying of dry vegetation to neutralize the vigilance of aerial observers. With a biographical mass of barely 90 grams, this majestic being is a titan of resilience in an environment of limited resources. The Moloch is the radiant guardian of the dunes, a masterpiece of evolution that breathes with an invincible elegance under the sovereign sun. When the desert temperature reaches its highest point, an extremely discreet hunter slowly leaves its underground refuge. It is the inland taipan, Oxyuranus microlepidotus, considered the terrestrial snake with the most potent venom known. Its venom of extraordinary potency, combined with an exceptional attack speed, makes it a highly specialized predator. Thanks to its chemical senses and the constant movement of its tongue, it precisely locates small mammals hidden among the crevices of the terrain. However, its natural distribution is very limited and depends largely on the abundance of desert rodents to survive. In addition, it avoids contact with people whenever it has the opportunity, and usually retreats rather than confront. It lives solitarily among crevices in the clay soil and natural shelters of the semi-arid regions of the Australian interior. A small mouse goes out in search of seeds, while the snake discreetly detects its presence. In an explosive movement, the taipan launches a series of extremely fast bites on the prey. Immediately, it moves away a few meters instead of maintaining direct contact with the injured animal. The potent venom begins to act quickly, while the rodent progressively loses the ability to escape. The snake waits with patience, thus avoiding the risk of suffering an injury caused by a desperate prey. Using its developed chemical sense, it follows the scent trail left by the rodent until locating it again. Only then does it begin to ingest the catch, completing a hunting strategy based on precision and efficiency. In the silent landscapes of the Australian interior, the inland taipan demonstrates that the combination of an extraordinary venom, a carefully calculated strategy, and a reserved behavior make it one of the most specialized snakes on the planet. In the radiant density of the tropical rainforests of Queensland, a sovereign with dark plumage emerges who guards the lower strata of the forest. The southern cassowary, known scientifically as Casuarius casuarius, is the titan of flightless birds that reigns in the plant sanctuary. Its physiognomy stands out for a rigid helmet on its skull, a biological architecture designed to protect its integrity when navigating through the thicket. It possesses lower limbs of massive power, equipped with a 10-centimeter claw that acts as a sovereign defense tool. Despite its biographical mass of up to 70 kilograms, this majestic inhabitant reaches a speed of 50 kilometers per hour in the dense forest. It manages a diet rhythmically centered on the fruits fallen from the canopy, processing plant energy to sustain its imposing internal structure, It acts as the great architect of biodiversity by transporting radiant seeds across kilometers, guaranteeing the regeneration of the sanctuary. Although its terrestrial dominance is absolute, this sovereign has renounced flight, limiting its radius of action before the mineral fragmentation of the environment. The biological permanence of its lineage rhythmically faces the challenge of modern expansion, requiring extensive sanctuaries for its vigor. Upon perceiving a threat, it activates a large-scale defensive response, using its mechanical power to neutralize any hostile intention from the environment. It communicates through rhythmic low-frequency thumps that resonate in the plant density, establishing its sovereign authority in the gloom. The cassowary is the ancient heartbeat of the boreal forests, a masterpiece of evolution that breathes with an invincible and pure elegance. In the estuaries of the tropical north, where the land merges with the sea, resides the absolute sovereign of rhythmic stalking. The saltwater crocodile, known scientifically as Crocodilus porosus, is the most imposing reptile patrolling the sanctuaries of Australia. A dominant male can reach a sovereign length of 6 meters and a biological mass of 1,000 kilograms of pure vigor. Its cutaneous armor is a masterpiece of resistance, allowing it to blend with the gloom of the mangroves absolutely. It possesses high-resolution sensory receptors that rhythmically detect the most subtle vibrations on the water surface of the environment. Its true sovereignty resides in a jaw of great power, capable of generating a pressure of 16,000 newtons on its target. As a master of biographical patience, it remains motionless for hours, neutralizing distance before deploying an explosive acceleration. It is an exceptional navigator that travels hundreds of kilometers through oceanic currents to expand its radiant domain. However, its biological permanence requires total dependence on water sanctuaries to rhythmically regulate its internal temperature. Its maturation cycle is slow, requiring decades of mineral stability to reach its most imposing and majestic body architecture. It prefers the sovereignty of solitude, establishing rhythmic territories in rivers and mouths that it defends with absolute biological firmness. The saltwater crocodile is the ancient heartbeat of boreal ecosystems, a gem of evolution that reigns under the sovereign sun. Upon entering the water mirrors of the billabongs, a graceful figure emerges that guards the serenity of the internal lakes. The freshwater crocodile, known scientifically as Crocodilus johnstoni, is the sovereign of Australia's interior channels. Unlike its large-scale relative, this inhabitant prefers sovereignty in quiet rivers far from oceanic salinity. Its physiognomy stands out for an elongated and narrow snout, a biological precision tool to capture the radiant vigor of fish. It possesses a high-resolution set of teeth with sharp pieces that ensure the exchange of nutrients in each rhythmic encounter. Its strategic advantage resides in amazing reflexes that allow it to neutralize distance in a minimal fraction of time. An adult specimen reaches a mass of 100 kilograms, maintaining a light structure designed for tactical and fast navigation. It can rhythmically reach a speed of 20 kilometers per hour on dry land, using a unique biological galloping technique. As a master of silent stalking, it waits under the gloom of submerged roots, waiting for the thermal pulse of its target. Upon detecting the imposing presence of the saltwater crocodile, the strategist rhythmically retreats to preserve its own biological integrity. Although its physical volume is moderate, its bite force can reach 1,500 newtons on the adversary's structure. It rhythmically regulates its internal temperature on hot rocks, processing solar energy to strengthen its vigor under the sovereign sun. It communicates through hisses of great sonic range that establish territorial boundaries in the density of the aquatic sanctuary. As a keystone species, its work ensures the biological control of fluvial populations and the health of water corridors. The freshwater crocodile is the resilient heartbeat of the billabongs, a masterpiece of evolution that breathes with pure elegance. At dawn over the prairies and open forests of the south, the sovereign of the hard ground emerges from its underground fortress. The common wombat, known scientifically as Wombatus ursinus, is the titan of excavation and endurance in the biological sanctuary. Its physiognomy is a masterpiece of muscular architecture, possessing a compact body designed for vigor and mineral power. It possesses robust limbs equipped with high-precision claws, biological tools capable of fracturing the densest substrate of the earth. It builds underground labyrinths that extend rhythmically for 20 meters, providing a thermal sanctuary against the siege of extreme weather. This mineral refuge guarantees its biographical integrity, allowing it to rhythmically avoid the thermal siege and the vigilance of surface strategists. However, its terrestrial navigation is limited, becoming vulnerable when the biological exchange demands rhythmically moving away from its protective sanctuary. It manages a radiant diet based on native grasses and fibrous roots, processing plant energy with wide-ranging metabolic efficiency. It uses its high-hardness incisors to collect the mineralized forage that sustains its imposing 60-kilogram structure under the sun. Its biological renewal cycle is slow, demanding absolute environmental stability to guarantee the rhythmic permanence of its invincible lineage. It possesses a bony shield in its posterior section that neutralizes any attempt of hostile incursion within the architecture of its mineral home. The wombat is the heartbeat of the hard ground, a gem of evolution that guards the order of the sanctuary with invincible elegance. Beneath the burning mineral substrate of the outback, a golden spectre resides that has rhythmically renounced contact with the Earth's surface. The marsupial mole, known scientifically as Notorectes typhlops, is the undisputed sovereign of the secrets hidden beneath the Red Desert. Its body architecture is a masterpiece of extreme specialization, possessing a cylindrical physiognomy designed for rhythmic navigation. Its visual organs have evolved away in a sovereign manner, being replaced by biological sensors that detect every vibration of the mineral environment. It possesses front limbs transformed into high-power shovels, biological precision tools to fracture the densest substrate. It moves rhythmically through the dunes like a swimmer in the liquid element, neutralizing the resistance of the radiant sand. Its strategic advantage resides in its absolute invisibility before the great strategists of the air that patrol the radiant horizon of Australia. It rhythmically avoids the thermal siege of 40 degrees Celsius, seeking biological stability in the depth of the hard ground. It rhythmically manages a diet of small invertebrates and larvae, processing biological energy with high metabolic efficiency. However, its extreme specialization represents a tactical fragility before any biographical transformation of its mineral and arid sanctuary. Every movement under the sand is a dance of resilience that guarantees the permanence of its lineage at the limit of what is biologically possible. The marsupial mole is the secret heartbeat of the outback, a gem of evolution that guards the order of the deep desert with elegance. On the water mirrors that adorn the heart of Australia, a fleet of sovereign elegance emerges that dominates the liquid horizon. The Australian pelican, known scientifically as Pelecanus conspicillatus, is the absolute sovereign of the continent's water sanctuaries. Its physiognomy stands out for possessing the most extensive beak recorded in the kingdom of birds, a precision tool of 50 centimeters. It possesses a massive gular pouch, a masterpiece of biological engineering capable of holding up to 13 liters of radiant water. With a sovereign wingspan of 2 meters and 60 centimeters, this majestic inhabitant dominates thermal currents with absolute authority. Its biographical advantage resides in long-range aerial navigation, allowing it to travel hundreds of kilometers in search of biological vigor. Upon detecting that fish populations concentrate rhythmically in shallow areas, the clan activates its coordinated approach sequence. The pelican's sovereignty manifests in its collective siege tactic, forming a radiant semicircle to corner the energy source. Individuals rhythmically beat their wings on the surface, directing the prey toward an inescapable and pure tactical radius of action. The strategist plunges its massive beak, using the pouch as a high-resolution suction net to ensure the integrity of the sustenance. It expels the excess liquid through a pressure of 10 newtons, guaranteeing that only biological vigor remains in its internal structure. It inhabits rhythmically in inland lakes, estuaries, and river deltas, adapting with invincible elegance to variations in the water level. However, its permanence faces the challenge of mineral evaporation, forcing it into large-scale radiant migrations when the sanctuary is exhausted. As a keystone species, its nutrient transport work ensures the dynamic balance and biological health of the world's oldest wetlands. The Australian pelican is the majestic heartbeat of the billabongs, a wonder of evolution that reigns with a sovereign peace under the sun. When the thermal siege of the sun decreases on the mineral horizon, the sovereign of spines emerges from its radiant refuge. The short-beaked echidna, known scientifically as Tachyglossus aculeatus, is a living vestige of ancient geological eras that guards the ground. Its anatomy is a masterpiece of biological protection, possessing a keratin armor composed of thousands of rigid and sharp spines. This defensive structure rhythmically neutralizes any hostile intention from the environment, turning the animal into an impregnable mineral fortress. It possesses robust limbs equipped with high-power claws, precision tools designed for high-speed vertical excavation. Upon detecting the slightest vibration of a strategist, the echidna uses its biological vigor to submerge into the hard ground in a few seconds. Its strategic advantage resides in a 17-centimeter tongue, capable of moving with a rhythmic frequency to capture biological energy. This radiant organ is covered with a viscous substance that collects thousands of ants and termites to sustain its internal metabolism. It uses electrosensory receptors in its snout to detect the pulse of prey hidden under the mineral substrate of the sanctuary. An adult specimen reaches a mass of 7 kilograms, maintaining a slow navigation that prioritizes rhythmic energy economy. However, its biological permanence depends entirely on the stability of the insect populations flowing in the Australian ecosystem. The echidna is the ancient heartbeat of the earth, a gem of evolution that reigns with an invincible and pure elegance. Under the rhythmic mirrors of the tide pools, a strategist of modest dimensions but with absolute biographical authority resides. The blue-ringed octopus, known scientifically as Hapalochlaena, is the sovereign of confined spaces on the Australian coast. This majestic inhabitant possesses a biographical mass of barely 50 grams, rhythmically hiding among the mineral sediment and rocks. Its cutaneous architecture is a wonder of evolution, integrating high-resolution chromatophores that allow it to blend with the sand. Before the slightest vibration of threat, it rhythmically activates its cerulean rings, a visual warning of great power and technical beauty. It possesses superior structural flexibility, allowing it to navigate through millimetric crevices and take refuge in difficult-to-access mineral cavities. Its biographical advantage resides in a chemical complex known as tetrodotoxin, a precision tool for vital exchange. This neurotoxic component rhythmically neutralizes the internal stability of small crustaceans and fish in fractions of a second. Upon identifying an energy source, the strategist deploys a tactical approach, securing the resource with amazing technical agility. However, its biological permanence is brief, as it possesses a rhythmic life cycle that usually concludes after barely 2 years of existence. The integrity of its lineage depends entirely on the stability of the reefs and the biological purity of coastal water reservoirs. It is an inhabitant of a discreet nature that prefers absolute stealth, activating its defensive vigor only before a direct biological intrusion. As an essential regulator of microfauna, its work ensures that the dynamic balance of the intertidal sanctuary remains healthy. The blue-ringed octopus is the radiant jewel of the shallow abyss, a masterpiece of evolution that breathes with pure elegance. Safeguarding its mineral habitat is ensuring that the rhythmic heartbeat of the Australian coast continues to inspire with its invincible majesty. In the crystalline waters of northern Australia, an ancestral figure emerges that rhythmically navigates among the submerged meadows. The green turtle, known scientifically as Chelonia midas, is the undisputed sovereign of oceanic migratory routes. This majestic inhabitant is a living vestige of past geological eras, guarding the secrets of the Great Barrier Reef. Its physiognomy stands out for an aerodynamic body and a mineralized shell that protects its biographical integrity. It possesses limbs transformed into powerful oars, allowing it to travel thousands of kilometers through currents. An adult specimen can reach a mass of 190 kilograms, projecting a presence of great authority under the sun. Its biographical advantage resides in a high-resolution internal compass, detecting the Earth's magnetic fields with technical precision. This strategist of the seas rhythmically navigates between feeding areas and the sacred sanctuaries of its biological origin. It rhythmically manages a strictly herbivorous diet, processing seagrasses and radiant algae to sustain its internal vigor. By pruning the aquatic vegetation, it acts as the great architect that guarantees the health and dynamic balance of the seabed. However, its biological permanence requires rhythmically emerging to the surface to capture vital atmospheric air. This moment of tactical vulnerability exposes it to the vigilance of air strategists and encounters with modernity. Its maturation cycle is slow, requiring up to 30 years of existence to reach its full generational renewal capacity. Microplastics rhythmically infiltrate its biological vigor, representing a technical challenge for the health of future marine populations. Nesting beaches, mineral sanctuaries of white sand, rhythmically suffer the pressure of global climatic transformation. Upon reaching the sacred period, the female ascends to the hard ground to sculpt a mineral refuge where she deposits her spheres of life. The small descendants will have to rhythmically navigate the sandy relief, neutralizing the risks of the terrain to reach the blue. As a keystone species, the green turtle is the resilient heartbeat of the coast, a gem of evolution that breathes with invincible elegance. Protecting the sovereignty of its migratory routes is ensuring that the ocean's biological symphony continues to resonate under the sovereign sun. With the arrival of the rhythmic rains in northern Australia, the water horizon transforms into the domain of a translucent strategist of great authority. The box jellyfish, known scientifically as Chironex fleckeri, is the absolute sovereign of stealth in the continent's coastal sanctuaries. Its biographical architecture is almost invisible, possessing a gelatinous body that rhythmically blends with the radiant reflection of the liquid element. It deploys 60 tactical filaments that can reach a length of 3 meters, functioning as a sensory network of great biological reach. Each filament houses millions of cnidocytes, specialized cells that fire chemical projectiles with astonishing technical precision. Unlike other inhabitants of its lineage, this majestic being possesses active navigation power, moving with a rhythmic and clear intention. It can rhythmically reach a speed of 6 kilometers per hour, neutralizing distance to intercept sources of biographical energy. It possesses 24 high-resolution visual organs, allowing it to rhythmically monitor the environment and avoid the sanctuary's mineral obstacles. The strategist deploys its radiant tools to rhythmically manage the fish and small crustaceans that navigate through the warm currents. Its chemical complex possesses a sovereign power, capable of neutralizing the biological stability of the target in a minimal period of time. However, its body structure is of extreme fragility, being vulnerable to the pressure of currents of great technical magnitude. Its cycle of biographical permanence depends entirely on the rhythmic conditions of the estuaries and the protected coastal areas of the north. The box jellyfish is the invisible jewel of the shallow abyss, a masterpiece of evolution that breathes with an invincible and pure elegance. Protecting the sovereignty of its aquatic sanctuaries is ensuring that Australia's biological symphony continues to flow with a radiant authority. Upon leaving the reefs of great biological risk, the trajectory guides us toward the shallow bays where the liquid silence is guarded by a gentle giant. The dugong, known scientifically as dugong dugong, is the absolute sovereign of the submarine meadows and the only strictly herbivorous marine mammal. Its biological architecture is a prodigy of aquatic adaptation, possessing a fusiform body that slides rhythmically through the warm currents. It presents a snout positioned rhythmically downward, a precision tool designed to collect seagrass from the mineral bed. An adult specimen can reach a sovereign length of 3 meters and a biographical mass of 400 kilograms of pure, peaceful vigor. Rhythmically known as the sea cow, this majestic inhabitant processes about 40 kilograms of aquatic vegetation in each solar day. Its grazing labor guarantees the health of coastal ecosystems, allowing the green architecture to regenerate and flourish with superior vitality. It possesses a biographical advantage by rhythmically navigating between different feeding sanctuaries, traveling dozens of kilometers to locate pure resources. However, its navigation is slow and rhythmic, which represents a tactical fragility before modern disturbances and changes in the blue horizon. Its renewal cycle is one of the slowest in the biosphere, requiring a prolonged gestation period to ensure the permanence of its lineage. It rhythmically inhabits temperate waters between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, seeking thermal refuge in protected bays and fluvial deltas. It possesses high-resolution sensory vibrissae on its snout that detect the pulse of the submarine flora in the gloom of the mineral sediment. The integrity of its population depends entirely on the stability of the seagrass meadows, the energetic motor that sustains its sovereign existence. As a keystone species, the dugong is the radiant barometer of our ocean's health and the purity of the currents that bathe Australia. This majestic mammal is the living testimony of silent resilience, a gem of evolution that guards the biological order under the sun. After navigating Australia's biological sanctuaries, the absolute truth about the sovereignty of this mineral and radiant continent emerges. The eternal cycle of drought is the great choreographer that rhythmically dictates the fate of every inhabitant under the sovereign sun. When the thermometer reaches 45 degrees Celsius, the outback transforms into a thermal challenge of great biographical magnitude. The rhythmic scarcity of vital liquid forces the sovereigns of the fauna to recalibrate their biological economy to preserve internal vigor. The monarch of fire emerges rhythmically, sweeping across thousands of square kilometers of dry thicket with absolute thermal power. Radiant wildfires operate as a motor of mineral transformation, releasing nutrients but testing the integrity of the ecosystems. Before the siege of heat, inhabitants like the wombat take refuge in the depth of the hard ground, seeking biographical stability. Small amphibians rhythmically initiate the state of estivation, reducing their vital pulse under the mineral soil for several months. Legions of kangaroos and birds initiate large-scale migrations, rhythmically seeking the trace of moisture on the pure horizon. The renewal of the lineage rhythmically stops, awaiting the radiant arrival of the rains that restore the cycle of existence. With the fall of 100 liters of water per square meter, the desert rhythmically explodes into a symphony of green shoots and vigor. This erratic rhythm of mineral abundance and scarcity has rhythmically shaped the evolutionary engineering of every sovereign Australian lineage. Only individuals with the purest biological resilience guarantee the rhythmic permanence of their lineage in the face of limits imposed by the environment. The outback is the most rigorous biographical laboratory on Earth, where sovereign patience is the supreme and radiant survival tool. Understanding these challenges is to honor the majesty of a rhythmic system that breathes with invincible elegance before the passage of time. With the fall of 100 litres of water per square metre, Australia's mineral soil rhythmically exhales the ancestral aroma of resurrection. This radiant phenomenon transforms the inert desert into a biological empire of sovereign vitality and elegance. Millions of plant embryos that remained in rhythmic lethargy sprout in unison, carpeting the hard ground with an emerald mantle. The radiant atmosphere becomes saturated with the vigor of thousands of insect species who rhythmically ensure the base of the biographical pyramid. Amphibians, sovereigns of mineral patience, emerge from the depth of the soil after months of absolute estivation under the surface. They rhythmically initiate their biological renewal ceremonies, taking advantage of every gram of moisture to ensure the permanence of their invincible lineage. Arid basins transform into large-scale radiant water mirrors, temporary oases that attract legions of inhabitants from across the horizon. Nomadic birds travel hundreds of kilometers in tactical trajectories, rhythmically locating these water sanctuaries through their internal high-resolution radars. The red kangaroo and the strategist dingo rhythmically converge on the reborn shores, participating in the massive exchange of energy that water guarantees. This dance of biographical resurgence is a masterpiece of natural engineering, a unique cycle of vigour that only breathes in the heart of Australia. The recovered vitality guarantees the biological health of the mineral sanctuary, allowing the architecture of life to flourish rhythmically before time. Australia under the rain is the supreme testimony that resilience always finds a radiant route to conquer the most arid horizons. When the radiant sun descends behind the red sandstone mountain ranges, the outback reveals its supreme biographical truth to the horizon. In this mineral sanctuary, biological permanence is not determined by abundance, but by the engineering of rhythmic adaptation. However, the desert architecture rhythmically faces the challenge of global climatic transformation and the rise of the mineral thermometer. Large-scale seasonal wildfires release a thermal energy that tests the resilience of Earth's oldest lineages. The tactical incursion of allochthonous species, such as the feral cat and the red fox, rhythmically alters the dynamic balance of the local fauna. Endemic inhabitants, radiant jewels of evolution, see their biological niches threatened by external competition and the loss of refuges. Protecting the outback is not merely about safeguarding a massive stretch of sand, but about guarding a unique laboratory of life. It is one of the ecosystems with the greatest evolutionary value on planet Earth, where every biological atom breathes with an invincible elegance. The integrity of this mineral sanctuary guarantees that the rhythmic heartbeat of Australia continues to flow before the passing of millennia. Safeguarding the sovereignty of the Red Desert is an ethical imperative to preserve the radiant biodiversity of our common biosphere. The outback must continue to be the eternal stage of wild freedom, where life reigns with absolute and rhythmic harmony. To honor its majesty is to recognize the power of resilience in one of the most extraordinary corners of the sovereign world. Subscribe to the channel in addition to sharing this video to carry this message of respect far. Every gesture helps protect nature's wonderful creation.